Hey everyone, thanks for watching us, and in this video I'm going to show you how to import a text file into SPSS. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep the notifications on. Without further ado, let's start. The text wizard in SPSS can read text data files formatted in a variety of ways. You can import tab delimited files, space delimited files, comma delimited files, and fixed field format files. So here I have created this example text file. As you can see, it has 3 lines. The first line is for my variables. The second and third line each represent a case. For example, my variables are ID, BS standing for blood sugar, cholesterol, HDL and LDL. As I have mentioned, you can see my 2 cases. Now let's add another case. For example, this would be the third case, and let me write down the blood sugar, cholesterol, HDL and LDL. So if you have noticed, I have put a comma between each one of the variables I have put. So now let's open up the SPSS, click import data, and from there text the data. Open up your file. Here, if you know the encoding of your file, you can choose, but it is not necessary. Here, the text wizard opens and you can choose to use a predefined format if you have done it in the past and save the file. And if you didn't, you should choose no, as I'm going to do. And as you can see here, the bottom of the text wizard, you can see the preview of your variables. Here in this step, you have to choose how your variables arrange. If you have delimited them with a specified character like comma or tab, you have to choose the first option. And if your variables are aligned in a fixed width columns, you should choose the second option. I have delimited them, as I have said before, with comma, so I choose the first option. In this second box, you have to answer if your variable names included at the top of your file. So in my example data, the variable names were the first line. So I click yes, and the line number that contained my variable names, I put 1 in that. If I choose to put the line number that contains my variable names, the second line, as you can see, my first case would be mistaken for my variable names. The last box says what is the decimal symbol. In my example data, my variables didn't need a decimal symbol, but because I have delimited them with comma, I will choose period for my decimal symbol. Here it says the first case of your data begins on which line number. As you would recall, my first case would start on the second line. If I put 1 in this box, as you can see, I couldn't go to the next step. Now moving on to our next box. It says how your case represented. In my example data, each line represented a case, so I checked the first one. But if you have a case that a specific number of variables represent a case, you should check the next one and put the number of the variables that represents a case. The last box, here it says how many cases do you want to import. I want to import all the cases, but if you want to import some of the cases, a random percentage of the cases, you can choose the 2 other options. Here in step 4, it says which delimiters appear between variables. Mine is a comma, but if you have used another delimiter, a space, tab, semicolon, or any other thing, you can check every one of them. This box says what is the text qualifier. I didn't have any text qualifiers, so I chose none. And the last box says leading and trailing spaces. If your variables did have any spaces, you can choose to remove them. Here in step 5, you can change your variable names and choose their data format. just by clicking on the variables. For example, here I click on cholesterol, HDL, and LDL. As you can see, I can change the data format or the variable name. As you can see, we have successfully defined the format of the text file. Here we can save this file format for the future use by clicking yes and also save as. As you can see, you can save your text file format. You should put a name for that, and also it will save as a text wizard predefined format or TPF. Now by clicking finish, your data would be imported. As you can see, the data is imported: ID, BS, cholesterol, HDL, and LDL. Also in the variable view. Thanks everyone for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep the notifications on for the next videos. Also hit the like button if you like my video. Thanks everyone.